Good morning. Good Sunday morning, but not sunny here, I'm afraid. It's supposed to be, and it's not on. And I can see from all of your um, messages here that in parts of a bit further north, it's nice and nice here, but I think it might break through. So I do hope so. So sending hi and good day to everybody. Kaz, Marjorie, Sue, Ginny, Eunice, Sam, Shirley. Terry, Kathy, Vivian, lovely to see you all. Hi, Tracy. So what have we got? Well, first of all, I have to say, what a fantastic workshop we had yesterday afternoon. Group of us on the Zoom, and we did Zoom. We did some lovely cards, and I will show you a couple of examples that we did. But you will see lots of them on the Facebook page. But yeah, what a brilliant afternoon that was. So thank you so much for all of those of you who attended then. So today we are going with the latest collection from Jamie Rodgers, Creative Expressions in Jamie Rodgers. And it's called, well, we've got Wings of Wonder collection. Do you know, I've only just realised that because I thought it was called the Pierce collection. But anyway, whatever. This is one of the new ones as well. So there is obviously a butterfly theme going on, which if you've been watching me for a while will know that that makes me happy because I love butterflies. And I just wanted to have a bit of a play. So those are the two dies that we are going to be using, which is the butterfly square frame. So I've taken it out of the packet. It reflects so badly, the plastic. We have got a set of 6 dies in total. So we've got a couple of plain outline dies and then a couple of the lovely frame itself with the butterflies. And then we've got another little frame and a butterfly itself. Beautiful. That's really lovely. Well, it's all really lovely. All craft stuff is lovely. And then Little Fairy Wishes. Now, I think she is one of the best fairies that I have ever seen. She cuts out beautifully. And I've really enjoyed working with this die set. So I had to incorporate those two today for you. The other things that I'm going to be using today are the Crafts 2 A4 template sheets because I want to be able to easily do a frame. So that's what I've got that for the templates. I'm using some Icicle card. So this is a pearlized finish, but in white, basically. I thought that this type of die and the idea of it all with the fairies needs that little sheen. So I'm not sure if you can see it, just about. It's got that little sheen to it. And I'm incorporating it with some of the papers from this set, which is the Hunkydory Adorable Scoreable Rainbow collection. So you have got 24 sheets, 8 different designs, and 3 of each of those designs with just beautiful. They are so lovely. So you've got that pale rainbowish type colour there, but it's all done for you. Just lovely. I'm going to be chopping them up, obviously, but very, very beautiful. And I do have some of those on the website if you would like to partake of any of those. So I'm going to use this one, though, the one that's on top at the moment. I'm going to use that. And yeah, we are going to do all sorts. So let's start off with, I'll put that to one side. I'm going to bring in, first of all, my one of my sheets of the Icicle, and I shall bring in also some of my die sets. So first of all, I'm going to cut out with the Icicle. I'm going to put die number 1, which is the outer die number 2, which is the first of the butterfly pieces, and die number 3, which is the inner frame of those two. So those are the ones that I'm going to be using. I'm going to tape them into place and I'm going to cut that one through, but I do want to cut 2 of these all together, and I have to admit that I have already done that. I've cut one. So I will be able to use this piece of card to do one of my fairies, okay? Because normally I would be using the other bit of the card to... I've got to get it right, haven't I? Oh, that's better. Yeah. I would be using the other bit for the other frame, but I want to put my fairy on there. So I'm going to take my little Tinkerbell. There she is. And I'm going to put her down there and cut her out. And again, I do want to cut 2 of her out. So if I was being, again, a bit frugal, not going to be using that bit in the middle there. So I could cut her out of that bit in the middle, but I probably wouldn't cut it all out at the same time, because otherwise there's an awful lot of different cutting pieces to go through with that. So I'm going to pop that onto my cutting mat, pop it through, and hopefully, hopefully it will all come out in one and you'll be able to see it. Oh, I don't know if you can hear all the crunching and groaning. So as I said, for this one, I would like to cut 2 of both of these things. One I've already done. And this one, hopefully. Now, obviously, as always, I just want to check the other side beforehand. And you can see, yeah, I do. That one is cut out beautifully, but I do need to turn this a bit because it's not quite cut out. So pinch my scissors. Turn it round the other way. So I've cut my fairy off. I can do her in a second. And then I'm just going to turn that round that way so that that's just going to go over those pieces again. Always best to check. But hopefully you could also see there that if I was to be cutting out the fairy in the middle, it would be a big ask to do all of those bits and pieces. So just keep an eye on this one before it throws it on the floor. And then when you see through, you can see that having a double cut through is absolutely pristine, clear, wonderful. So let's take those pieces out. And I'm going to just use my brush to go through the worst of it, you could say, and just make life easier rather than poke out every single little bit. Because there's bound to be some pieces that stay stuck into the die. Oops. So I'll just remove these pieces and then you'll be able to see just how pretty this is. So we've got single little butterflies in the middle. Oh, it's hooked itself on. Then you've got a little set of butterflies there on each of the corners, giving a very pretty, delicate little frame. Oh, goodness me, come here. So go there, just make sure all the pieces come out. And yeah, they're sticking in some places and not in others. But as you can see, not a problem. I'm just pushing them out. I'm not having to work them out. I'm just literally pushing them through. So that is your lovely design. I think that's beautiful, don't you? And then, whilst I've got all the mess on the table, let's go with the little Tinkerbell. Fairy wishes, not Tinkerbell. And then just push this one through as well. Look at that. So she's got like a pierced pattern, as it comes from the Pierced collection. It's got that sort of pattern on it. But again, really pretty with lots of lovely detail to it, and also around the head there. So yeah, so rinse and repeat. We need to do that twice, and thank the Lord I have actually done it. So despite the fact that you may well have been nodding off during that part, you no longer need to nod off. So I have got myself already 2 of my frames and 2 of my little fairies. So I'm going to pop that to one side. Then I'm going to take my frame pieces. So that is die number 1 from the butterfly square frame set. And this is die number 3. Okay, so I'm not going to use that die anymore for this card. I'm just going to use this as a frame. Now you could do 2 things. You could, bringing this back in, stick this down onto your card, the outer one, whoops, and then pop that one in the middle to be able to give an idea of where that frame should be, where that middle one should be. So that's one way of doing it. Or if you do have the template papers, then that is also an easier way perhaps to do it, because you've got the red lines and the guidelines. So I'm going to pop that onto, as even as I can, onto a piece of card there. Not card, of the template there. So let's just at least get it straight. So I'm just going for these 2 being on a red line. Okay. So those 2 I know are square, and obviously the rest will be in there. So then I'm going to bring that in, and I will bring this in just to show you what I meant again. So we can then pop that into the center so we know where that is. And then this little one in the middle is what I'm trying to aim to get square as well. Okay, so about there. I can then pick this one up. I knew that was going to happen. So let's get that back into there. Does it. Move that one out of the way, and then I can see where the lines, I'm on the red lines here. I can keep those on the red lines, little bit of tape down, and then pop that on there. So that's going to cut through this template, but also as I'm going to pop that onto a piece of the icicle again. No, beg your pardon, no, I'm not done that. I'm now going to bring in my rainbow card. So I'm going to use this rainbow card. Now I've already cut one out, and I cut that piece at the top of it so that I have the sort of yellowies and pinks. So the one that I'm going to cut now is going to go down here where I've got the more sort of mauve maybe and the blues. So I'm going to turn it round because that part is irrelevant. Yeah, so we're going to bring that down to about there. That'll be fine. And then pop that through my machine. So it's going to cut me a frame. So this is quite handy because you've actually then got the frame without having to have, I mean, most people have got the square dies, but you then don't have to have the nesting dies in order to do that. And of course, to know that it's all in exactly the right place for that. So I'm going to bring in back my frame, one of them. Now this should have cut through without any trouble, but I would always just check it as well. But don't forget that you are having to go in. This card here, the rainbow card, is actually a 350 GSM, so it's a really thick card. And of course, you've had to go through another piece of sort of copy type paper as well. So I would cut 2 of those out, and you can see then that you've got sort of like that, in this case, a little bit of yellow here, bluey sort of colour. But this is going to go right over the top like that, so that you've then got that sort of ombre effect behind it, which looks very, very pretty, especially as you've got such a delicate front there. Okay, now I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to try and use my spray glue. I say brave because it's a new can, and it made such a mess yesterday, but I will endeavour to do it. But of course, I'm only doing that really for quickness. And you could, of course, use ordinary glue if you don't have spray glue, but I'm just trying to do it for quickness. Let's hope I don't get it everywhere. Let's see. Gosh, it seems rather vicious, but we shall see. So bring that over, and then, whoops, it's not quite what you can see, sorry. Bring that. It is very vicious. I've got glue everywhere. And sometimes I've got glue where I don't want it. Oh, come here. Thank you. So, because it was cut out with the same dies and because we put the template on, we should be able to get it so there's an absolute match, like so. We also will find that I've got glue everywhere. Didn't need quite so much, I think. Just spreading that one. So that is that one. And then, good old Blue Peter tradition, here's the one I did earlier. So I'm going to have to do the same. Oh, come on. And you can see that because I did one at the top and one at the bottom, you've got that slightly different coloration. But when that goes over, it just adds to it of being all those different beautiful colours. You can obviously mix and match. Doesn't match which way round you want to do any of it really. So I'm just going to pop that one into my spray box. Whoops. Gosh, it's so vicious. Blimey. It means business. I'll do exactly the same. And just pop that one as well. I feel I need a bit of paper just to... Looking for a carry sheet. But I have not got a carrier sheet. Just want to carefully lay this down so it's all staying stuck. So there we go. Oh, there are our two pieces there. Now we're going to leave that to one side and I'm just going to work on the little fairies. So obviously they're both exactly the same. And I just want to give a bit of movement with the wings on here, because to me, those wings are just, as I say, in terms of fairies, yeah, really, really like those. I'm going to pop some glue onto my surface here. Pop it onto a bit of cards actually rather than the surface, because I think this will be the way that I want to do it. Now I can pick it up with a brush or a dauber or my fingers, whichever way you fancy it. I'm going to pick it up with my finger and I'm just going to take a bit on there and I'm just going to wipe it over the wings part only. So I could use, as I said, I could use a dauber. I really couldn't use spray glue because if I use spray glue here, I would be getting it absolutely everywhere, all over the bits that at this stage I don't want. So I'm just wiping it over those very delicate wings because I want to put a little bit of glitter on there as well. So that's just wiping those over. Use that again in a second. So I'm going to take, whoops, sorry. I'm going to take a little bit of my dust. So this is diamond sprinkles, and therefore is exactly what I'm going to do is sprinkle it over the wings where I've put the glue onto. So then I can pop it into there and push it like I did with the flowers and did on Wednesday, didn't we, with the wedding card. So just, and so it should only stick where I have put the glue, which is onto those wings. Now, before I actually decant that all back, oh no, I better do, just in case. You know what it's like. It'll be all over the table otherwise. I do need it again in a minute. So I've got my two. Now, can you see the glitter or not? Okay, probably not. So pretend glitter. It's not pretend glitter, just imagine glitter. I'm going to then, on this one, just where her shoulders are really, I'm just going to push that up a little bit. Now it is attached to her head as well, and I'm going to leave it attached. I don't want it floating off. I'm just going to bend it just where that joint is on the shoulder. And then I'm going to take my fine nozzle glue, and I'm going to put some glue onto the one at the bottom. So not the one that I've encouraged to sit up a bit more, just onto this one. I've got to wait for that glue to come through. So I'm just going to put some fine bits onto here. And she's very detailed with her hands and her feet and this little sort of flower lantern or whatever it is that she's holding as well. Just put that back into there. And then I'm going to sit this one absolutely on top. She says, hopefully. So I've not put any glue onto the wings. Okay, I have on the front so that I could glitter it within an inch of its life, but I haven't on those two itself. So you could cut them two out and glitter it all, but you will find then that the top fairy is a little bit more difficult to actually adhere to the other one because of the glitter. So I'm going to take it, bring in back my little bit of glue here, and I'm just going to add some glue to her little lantern. Bring that back in, and I just want to pop some of that onto her lantern, and hopefully, can you even see that? I will try and take a good photograph of it so that you can see, but yeah, it's sometimes really difficult to get over not so much what something looks like, more so what something actually has got sort of texture to it. It's much more difficult to take a photograph of that. But believe me, in real life, she looks a little stunner. She really does. So just a little bit more cutting and that to do, and then we will assemble our card. So I've got my two pieces here. Clearly, I'm going to be putting some foam on the back of it, but I just want to check. I'm going to put it onto an 8x8 card blank, and I also want to have a surround to it in a second, and I'm not quite sure which one I want at the bottom and which one I want at the top. What I do know is the one at the bottom has to be the square and the one on the top has to be on a diamond basis, because I want, let me show you why I'm saying that. I want my fairy to be sitting, or virtually standing. If I put her in so that she is on that format, she's got to be lying a bit more, or flying, shall we say, not lying, flying. Yeah? So subsequently, do I want that one at the bottom? Don't think it's going to make a great deal of difference, to be honest. Yeah, I think I am going to go that way. So that's going to be at my bottom. That's my bottom. Now, I do want just a very small border around here, and I'm thinking of putting a blue border on. Oh, not that blue. Let me find a proper blue. I think I'll go for that one probably. Yeah, because I'm going to be toning it down. So let's just cut out these pieces. Let's pop my fairy to one side. Don't want to lose her. Bless her. Oh, goodness me. Can you hear me? Crash, bang, wallet. So my 8x8 card blank measures 20 by 20 centimetres. So I'm going to do this one at 19 centimetres. So this is periwinkle blue. And this is I've chosen that colour because I wanted to bring out the blue that's actually in that rainbow card. And then I'm going to take myself a piece of Icicle again so that it all mixes and matches. And that piece I'm going to do at 18.5. So it's 0.5 centimetre smaller all the way round. Okay, so let us assemble the card. So here is the card blank, the card like that. So as you can see what I mean, if I put that on top now, I've now got that little blue border, which I think is going to look quite nice. So I'm going to put these on here, put some glue around the edges, and then stick that down into my centre piece, leaving that little border, like we said. That's that. Whoops. Shooting it over the wrong area. Then I'm going to bring in my card blank with the top folding. So I've got the top folding at the top. Look at her. She's just waiting to get in here, isn't she? You can tell. Just going to put that onto there. So that's on my card front. Like so. And then I'm going to put some foam on the back of these. So I'm going to turn that over. I'm going to bring in some 2mm foam. I think when you're doing a 2 frames like this, you could get away with not putting a frame, not putting foam onto the bottom one and just on the top, if you wish. But I do think it's quite important to put foam onto at least the top one, because otherwise it will sit rather sadly there, I think. It'll just look all rather flat, whereas just a little bit of foam would, in my opinion, make all the difference. So let's just bring that through. Okay. Now, just going to find a little, so this was cut out of the centre, okay? And which way around did we say we were going to do it? That way, didn't we? So that one there, now I know that's not the same centre that's going to go in there, but that one is going to go sort of centre-ish. And this one is going to slot. I want that as the background. So if we just put that in like that, and then I'm just going to take a pencil. Oops, pencil left. Thank you. Just put a little mark there and there, there and there. So I know when I go to stick it down, I know that I've got it in the right place. So just pop that into there. Those little pencil marks, I could obviously rub them off, but they aren't going to be seen, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Oh, well done, Anita. That is exactly what you need to be doing. Click in the good old like. Yeah. We like to be liked. Everybody likes to be liked, don't they? So thank you for that. That's all you have to do. Every time you come and see me, just click that like button. It's just like the little thumbs up one there. I should think I'm going to put it down that way. So let's just check that we have got it everywhere we want. So that one's going to go there. And then this one is going to go on top, but it's going to be turned round, I think 90 degrees, isn't it? Not sure. Not sure. Do you know, we had such a fun afternoon. I know there's a few people here that's actually watching that may be commenting and not commenting, but it was so good to see everybody. And the cards that everybody made were just brilliant. Just brilliant. There's my frame going on the top. Don't you just love all those pastel colours? And then this little patient fairy, she's been sitting there all that time waiting for us. She is now to go with great pride into the centre there. So are we going to put any foam on her? No, I'm not going to put foam, but you know, because I can, I'm going to put some pin flower on there. You would think I was obsessed with pin flower, wouldn't you? Because I do seem to use it a lot. But in this case, there's going to be an awful lot of tiny little bits of foam if I wanted to put foam on there. Whereas if I put pin flare on there, if I could find a spatula with which to put it on with, I can put tiny little bits, but it will still give it that dimension. So I'm just going, so it's a silicone glue really. Just going to put a little bit on her head. Looks like a big bit. It is a big bit. I want her to sit up a little bit. Obviously, I'm not going to put any on the wings because they are doing their own thing. And I'm just going to put a little bit on that centre part where her legs are crossed. Don't forget, squeeze that, so, and then put the lid on, and you can see. Do you know, I've never done that before. I have never nearly used all of my pin flare, because usually without doing that little trick, I've ruined most of it. Used it once and then never again. So just going to pull up, before I put her down, going to pull up that wing again so that it's really nice and proud, and then she's going to sit just about there. So that I'm not going to squash it down, because that's the whole idea of putting the silicone glue on, that just holds her hovering. Now, if you wanted to put sentiments onto here, you could, some corners would look very pretty on there actually, wouldn't they? But I don't have them to hand, so I'm not going to rush to do that. You have also got some little extras that come with this one, so that you've got the little, well, I don't know what they call them really, but little flowers and little fronds, leaves. So you could put some of those, or even you could, shall we go a bit mad? Shall we try see what that butterfly looks like? I think that I'm going to cut it out of white. Let's see, this is just an experiment, seeing as you're still with me. Hold on. Hold on a minute. If I was to do, my thoughts on it are, I would be tempted to put blue butterflies there. However, I should have done that to show you. Hold on. Sorry about the crashing. Oh. Let me just do a blue one as well, so bear with me. I should finish it off camera, but you can see what I mean, hopefully, with what my thinking was on this. But it is pretty, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I think in terms of what it would be a card for, it certainly would be a card for saying thinking about you, that type of thing. Or, of course, if there's anyone that you know that likes butterflies, and also just, I don't know, just a pretty card. Pretty card. Maybe not a masculine card, I'll give you that. But just a pretty card. So I've cut the one butterfly out of the Icicle card, and I've cut another one out of the Periwinkle Blue. So I'm using the same colour scheme that I was using before, and I suppose you could also, that's another possibility, might be quite nice, cut it out of the rainbow effect as well, so that you've got different ones. But let's see what we think. I'm thinking, oh, sorry, I'm thinking that if I put the blue on, it's going to detract from looking at my fairy. It's too deep. It's too dark. Yeah, although it's the same blue, it's too dark. But if I use the white one, so cut out, so it's going to be white on white, take that one away, I think that looks quite nice. I could actually even cut out, that would be a nice little butterfly, just looking at the pattern, just to make it so that you've got one of these butterflies, cut it out again and have a little one in the corner. Got to move his wings. I can't have a butterfly that's sitting there flat. What do you think? The white one. Yeah. Shame, isn't it? And Tracy, do you know what? I'm thinking you're right. I'm thinking actually it doesn't really need anything. But I think that the blue is too much, isn't it? Yeah, you don't like the blue. And I think you're right. I don't know that I like that one up there either, really. We shall see. You might be surprised how I finish it off. Who knows? But I think actually, in actual fact, if you could only see all the glitter on there, and I don't think you can. I'm so sorry that you can't, but you can see all that movement. Look at that. Look how that even looks from behind there. That even looks like she literally has just landed, and you almost want to say shh in case she's frightened and flies away. Yeah, I'm thinking more sort of filigree corners. I think that might look nice, but probably white again. Probably white. I'm going to do something. If you need to go, go. I've just thought of something. Hold on a second. I might be entirely going down the wrong path here. Won't tell you till I've done it, in case it really looks awful. I don't think it'll look awful, but it's just another thought. But I do think it looks nice just like that. Sometimes I think cards don't actually need sentiments and things, and all your sentiments could be inside more. We shall see. No, I've done that wrong. What I'm thinking of, just going to see if it's going to do it right. Don't know. Just did it wrong though, so let me just grab another piece of card. What I'm thinking of is I'm going to use this die just to see if I could cut corners from it, but I was forgetting, and I need to have an outer edge and an inner edge in order to do that. So I need to put those bits out. I need to put those two dies together and the little one there. Now, as I said, this might not work at all. Let's just see what it looks like. I'm sure it'll look pretty, if nothing else. So I'm just going to tape those together. I'm going to put it through that way. Hopefully get a better go at it. So pop that one there. That one into there. So I'm going to run that through my machine, and I'm running it through that way. So hopefully I'll only have to do it once because I'm going to get a better chance at it. And even if it doesn't work, it's just a different way of using the dies. We like to have it so that it's versatile, don't we? Eh? Hold on. So now we can see, hopefully. Yeah, so you can see it cuts out beautifully, really well, which is good to see. I'll take these dies off. Take out all the excess. And what I'm thinking is chopping it then now, so that we make some corners of our own. You can see what I mean by there being a corner. So this design is made up of 4 corners. You need to cut it in such a way. I don't know whether I'm going to like this. I'm not sure. I'm going to cut out. Don't want to have, I don't think, the butterfly in the centre. I'm going to cut out that. I'm going to go round. I don't want that butterfly, so I'm going round there, round there, round there. So I've made myself a corner. Yeah? You shall see which will go, I'm thinking, into that corner there. Still don't think it needs it, to be honest, but let's just finish it. Let's just finish it. Maybe we shouldn't just do that. So there again, I've just gone round the corners. Oops, I'll take all the bits out. Just rounding the corners and just snipping it. I mean, even if we don't do it for this, it would still look lovely for another card. So we won't worry too much. Still can't decide. What's your thoughts, folks? Yes or no? Few pearls in the corners, maybe. I don't know why I have to fill up every bit of space, really. I don't, do I? But it gives you another idea. And yeah, pearls maybe, or just maybe not. But I think those butterflies didn't work. The big butterflies didn't work, did they? So this could be the last time that you see this design like that. Yeah, still, it's different, isn't it? I still think that even after all that, I think actually an empty corner is probably better than filled altogether. But you know, yeah. I think maybe that just looks better, doesn't it? Because she is the starring role. But we've got some butterfly corners that you could make out of it. Who would have thought? So I will leave it there, folks. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you like our little Tinkerbell, otherwise known as Fairy Wishes, in her rainbow clouds. And I just think she's very pretty. So I look forward to seeing you again at our next YouTube Live, which is next Wednesday, the 16th, I think it is. Am I right in saying that? No, I'm lying. It's Wednesday, the 17th of May. That will be halfway. Goodness me. And then that will, I'm hopefully doing a couple of recordings for you, but then I am actually going to take a break. Although I say that, I'm actually taking my dad away. So I don't know how much of a break that will be, but there you go. So I will see you next Wednesday at 6 o'clock with another YouTube Live. I did mean to just say very quickly, Facebook, for those people that are members of the Maximum Craft Facebook group and friends, unfortunately, Facebook has in the last couple of months done some upgrades, and one of them means that they're limiting the amount of people that you can invite to come to a group. I've no idea what that figure is, because I invite the same amount of people, i.e. everybody in the group, and sometimes it says I can, and sometimes it says, uh-oh, you can't invite that many people. In other words, you can't invite anyone. So please don't take any offence if you don't think that you've received a notification via the Facebook group, because that is why. But if you do want to be notified of any of us going live, if you just subscribe to this channel, the YouTube channel, and hit the notification little bell, you will find that you will know half an hour before we start. So thank you, everyone. Take care, look after yourselves, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.